Magalie Laguerre-Wilkinson, and this is Science and You. Today we're looking out over the beautiful City College campus toward the Center for Discovery and Innovation. Our first story today kicks off with some scary fun and excitement, because for a lot of people, summertime means theme parks and roller coasters. Ari Goldberg finds out what in our brain makes us seek out these kinds of crazy thrills. Here's what he discovered.
Summer in New York just wouldn't be summer without a trip to Coney Island. The boardwalk, Nathan's hot dogs, and maybe some roller coasters. But why are some of us drawn to that? The speed, the thrill seeking.
Sensation seeking is a psychology term. Sensation seeking usually means you're more likely to be impulsive and do risky things. Everybody's brain is different. Structurally speaking and also functionally speaking is different. So that makes us why some people quiet and some people are louder, and some people like quiet activities, some people like doing sensation seeking.
According to psychologist Wei Zhan, it's all about the reward center of the brain, like the amygdala, which regulates emotion. The body reacts to thrills by releasing neurochemicals and hormones like serotonin and dopamine in the amygdala. These are some of your body's pleasure chemicals.
So it also depends on what your other brain regions responds to such kind of like a stimuli you are facing. Like some people have a really strong activity in their prefrontal brain region which controls decision making, attention, and other cognitive functioning. That will probably guide a person to make the decision not to do the risky things or not tend to be sensation seeking.
So when it comes to the rush of high heart rates and sweaty palms at the top of a roller coaster, that's what makes us different. Some of us have higher amygdala activity and are more inclined to seek that pleasure rush. Some of us have higher prefrontal cortex activity and may be more inclined to avoid it, or even actively fear it.
So boys and girls growing up, men, women, as they get older, do we have different levels of these chemicals in our brains?
Men and women, boys and girls, usually they have the same kinds of chemicals and hormones, but the levels of these neurotransmitters, neurochemicals, and hormones level is different in boys and girls. That's why boys are more likely to be sensation seeking as compared to the girls. So when the children grow up, this kind of neurochemicals or hormones will decrease gradually. So that's why they are less likely to do sensation seeking and risky behavior.
That's not to say kids get a free pass, because age and gender certainly aren't the only factor when it comes to taking risks.
When you're trying to do something risky, when you are alone, you are less likely to do it. When you are with your friends under this peer pressure phenomena, you are more likely to do it. So they are more likely to do drug abuse and binge drinking and high speed, like racing the car.
That's, of course, the darker side of sensation seeking. The same pleasure centers of the brain that are rewarded by the thrill of a scary movie or rock climbing can be the same ones involved with gambling or violence. But for most thrill seekers, a sunny day on one of Coney Island's roller coasters is more than enough.
So if you're the type of person where every summer you're excited to get out to the amusement park, ride the Cyclone, well, now you know why. I'm Ari Goldberg for Science and You.
To kick off the summer season, why not talk about bees? And joining us today is an author about bees, Lynn Brunelle, who just published this book, Turn This Book into a Beehive. Lynn, thank you so much for talking to us, for being here. And I have to start off with this one question. Tell me about how many species of bees exist in this world, on this globe?
Yeah, more than anybody really thinks. 25,000 different species of bees on the planet.
25,000 species of bees. And here we thought we had a bee shortage. How is that even possible?
Well, there is a bee shortage. There's a honeybee shortage. That's the thing. I think, like most people, before I wrote the book, I thought all bees were honeybees. I thought all bees were in a hive with a queen, and I thought that they all made honey, and I thought they all stung. And it turns out I was so wrong. Only 7 species out of 25,000 species make honey.
And also, my favorite bee is the mason bee. Why? Because the mason bee doesn't?
The mason bee doesn't sting. The mason bee actually turns out to be an incredible pollinator and can pick up some of the slack that we're going to be losing when we lose our honeybees.
So why write a book about bees?
Well, I read this article, and it was talking about the honeybee hive collapse, and it was such a dire article, and all it had was bad news, saying if the honeybees go away, then our food supply goes away, and our cotton and our flax, and so we'll be no clothes, no food, right? And that was the end of the article, and it wasn't good enough for me. And as a person who likes to communicate science topics, especially to kids, you don't want to only communicate these, like, you know, hey, guess what? It's bad, bye-bye. And so I wanted to come up with an idea. I wanted to learn more about it. So I started to learn, and that's when I learned that all bees are not honeybees. Honeybees are all domesticated. They're all brought over from Europe, and they're all kept by humans. They're beekeepers, right? And we take them across the country, we take them to orchards, we take them to farms, and we use them to pollinate our plants and to collect their honey. So they're totally overworked. Then I found out that, you know, most of the bees on the planet are not social bees. They don't live in a hive with a queen, and they don't, you know, work as a social group. Most of them are solitary bees, which is our
right?
mason bees. Are solitary bees, which means every girl's a queen. I like that. So every female lays her eggs, and it turns out that they're incredible pollinators, and they're native. So they're wild and flying around our neighborhoods anyway.
So when we think about bees, it's not just stinging, but also about honey. And so you came up with an interesting fact, or you wrote an interesting fact, which exists, is that bees themselves, it takes their entire lifetime to make
one bee's entire lifetime, they can make, I think that it's anywhere from like a 12th to a 1/6 of a teaspoon of honey. So it takes about over 700 bees in their entire lifetimes to make a pound of honey, which, you know, a pound of honey is a little, you know,
16
honey bag.
ounces.
Yeah.
It's little.
Yeah.
It's small.
Yeah.
So what else? Why gear this towards kids? Is it because they're the ultimate communicator to grown-ups to make adults more aware of what's going on?
I think there is that, and plus, you know, they're stewards of the earth right now. I mean, they're our next generation. So if we can teach kids, and it's not, you know, grown-ups too, right? If we can teach people about these native pollinators, that all you have to do is create a house for them, and they'll come in and help do this work. It's this incredible thing, and kids will do it. That's the thing, because it's fun.
And coming up, you will see how this book can become a home for bees. Science and You tests your knowledge. Do you know the answer? At what temperature are Celsius and Fahrenheit equal? A, -40, B, 0, C, 32, or D, 100? The answer, -40. The conversion formula from Fahrenheit to Celsius is simply Fahrenheit minus 32 times 5/9. Therefore, when you insert -40 into the formula, you'll get -40 in return. The same can be said for converting Celsius to Fahrenheit, which is Celsius times 9/5 plus 32. Looking for something fun to do outside this summer? Look no further than Leonia, New Jersey, where Andrew Falzon explores a park dedicated to creatures a lot bigger than bees who roamed the earth way long before we did.
It's a commonly known scientific fact that dinosaurs are dead, but here at Field Station Dinosaurs in Leonia, New Jersey, they're very much alive. Sitting on about 30 acres of land in Leonia, New Jersey, is Field Station Dinosaur. It brings to life some of nature's most fascinating creatures. Over 30 different species of dinosaurs are represented, everything from the armored Ankylosaurus to the crested Dilophosaurus to the three-horned Triceratops to perhaps the king of all land predators, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. But the goal of the park is more than to enthrall and entertain. It's all about scientific accuracy.
A lot of times, especially with the meat-eating dinosaurs, we would talk about how they should hold their hands. You know, in a lot of kids' books, you see the dinosaurs are always coming at you with claws like this. But those meat-eating dinosaurs are really much more like birds, so they would have their hands, you know, kind of folded back like a bird's wings. We also talked about how the sides and the stomach would move slowly as if they're breathing. These are very subtle things you may not realize you're noticing, but they really make a huge difference in how realistic these dinosaurs look.
Jason Shine is the executive director of the Bighorn Basin Paleontological Institute, a nonprofit focused on teaching about dinosaurs and tasked with making sure Field Station's dinosaurs would make the grade. But aside from being educational, a dinosaur park also needs to be fun. And to judge that, I consulted with two leading experts in the field, my cousins Francesco and Jojo, ages 11 and 6. Judging by the expressions on their faces, it seemed the park passed their test. Not an uncommon occurrence, according to Jason.
Usually when the kids walk through the front door, their first view of these dinosaurs is just, they stop, they get really big eyes, and they just say, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." You expect kids to be amazed by it, and they are, but when the parents come and they're amazed by it, it's pretty great too.
And that amazement likely comes from how lifelike the dinosaurs are. Aside from being scaled to the actual size of their prehistoric counterparts, it's the small details on the animatronic replicas that make the biggest impact. Lifelike eyes and a leathery, scaly skin make them that much more real. The 30 or so species of dinosaurs are laid out in a shaded walking trail nestled along Teaneck Creek. There are endless opportunities to take great scenic pics and a few selfies with your favorite dinosaurs. T-Rex was the kids' favorite.
I think it was pretty cool. Really cool.
Yeah? Why was it cool?
Because I liked its sharp teeth.
Nice.
I liked it by its eyes. It had red eyes and it was huge. It was twice the size as me, so I think that's pretty cool.
There's also a show with live music and a life-size baby T-Rex marionette, but it's education that ties together all the fun. Each dinosaur in the park has an informative sign with just the right amount of information for little brains to absorb.
We tried to pack in a lot of information in a very succinct way on those signs. And then, of course, when you go to the other shows around the park, you can learn a whole lot more, get a lot more in depth.
You can wander through the Velociraptor maze and dig to discover your own bones, which impressed Jojo.
I feel like I found a real dinosaur bone.
With the latest installment of the Jurassic World series in theaters this summer, Field Station Dinosaur provides the perfect balance between the big screen and an active imagination. I'm Andrew Falzon for Science and You.
If it's good enough for the Harlem Globetrotters, it's good enough for our Donna Hanover. Since the legendary hoopsters practiced their skills at the National Museum of Mathematics, Donna wondered what it would do for her game.
At MoMath, the National Museum of Mathematics, a robot that improves your free throws is a big draw for kids and adults, including the Harlem Globetrotters.
Come on, Chase.
Hoop Curves is one of the new attractions at the museum since we first visited 5 years ago. Executive Director Cindy Lawrence says another popular new exhibit is Twisted Thruway.
It allows visitors to explore mathematical surfaces by driving on them. On the bottom, we have something called a trefoil knot. And mathematicians would say that's a two-sided object. In other words, the blue car is going around the outside on the blue track, and on the inside, the red car is driving around, and they never collide, they never meet, because one's on the outside, one's on the inside. On the top, it's a little bit different. We have something called a Mobius Strip. Now, mathematicians say that only has a single surface. If you follow that path around, that yellow path, if the car were driving around on it, you would see that the car starts on the outside, and as it comes around, it ends up on the inside.
Sometimes the visitors can explain.
What kind of a strip is it? A Mobius Strip. Have you heard about a Mobius Strip before?
Yes. We've made them in class before with paper and stuff, where you twist it and then you tape them together.
The cars also have cameras that show their point of view as they move along, which drivers love to see on their screens. The reflection show, which closes in October, is also fantastic. A museum manager showed us that because our bodies have a vertical line of symmetry, if we show half the body and use a mirror to reflect that same half, crazy illusions are possible. And it's nifty to see what's behind the magic. Many of the original exhibits at MoMath are still getting raves. Math Square, an in-floor LED display that's like a horizontal jumbotron, is very appealing, as are the amazing square wheel bikes.
Riding on square wheels doesn't seem like it would work, but this does work because there's a very special track. You actually need a little bit of math, a little bit of calculus to discover what the right precise shape should be for this track. This is a shape called the catenary curve, and mathematicians discovered that that's a shape that mates perfectly with the square rolling so that the level of the bicycle stays flat and you have a smooth ride on square wheels.
MoMath also runs competitions and camps, and it has speakers and events especially for adults who like math. You can find out more online at momath.org. A lot of people want to know more about hoop curves, so MoMath consultant Geva Patz explained.
So we have two hoops here, and the one on the left is primarily intended for humans. You grab a ball, toss it in the hoop, and the system tracks your ball and measures things like the exact position in the X, Y, and Z dimensions as it leaves your hand, the angle both this way and that way as it leaves your hand, the speed that you put into the ball, tracks all of these things, and then plots that on that display over there.
The tracking comes from two small cameras up by the hoop that give a computer depth perception almost like human vision. Of course, none of that guarantees success.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Wait, I can do better. Oh, hit the rim. Okay, so what is this telling me I need to do?
A little bit more height and slightly more to the right is what the data's telling us anyway.
Oh! What do you say?
Fantastic.
Okay, so now what does this tell me I did right?
So this is telling you, so you can see here, this yellow bar's gone a little higher. That's thanks to you. And in fact, over here, you look at that little yellow blipping dot over there. That is your shot. The yellow tells us that it was a success.
And how does the robot or ball-bot part of hoop curves work?
What you can do with BallBot is dial in your choice of height. There's a pedal here that allows you to raise the robot up, or you can bring it back down again with this handy knob. You can adjust the speed you want BallBot to put into the ball, adjust the angle over here with this knob up and down, and you can see we have a sort of protractor type thing here that gives you that visual representation of the angle. You then load this torpedo tube-like thing with a basketball, and moments later, the robot hurls it out.
I tried it.
And dial the speed up closer to the high mark. You can hear the machine speeding up. Let's see how that goes.
Ready?
A lot of other visitors enjoyed it too.
You're allowed to select the height of your shot, the degree of your arc, the wind speed the ball goes through, and whatnot. It's a very cool machine, and I really love it.
Is this going to make you a better basketball player?
I hope so.
It's a real crowd favorite, this one, even for people who can, shoot a hoop themselves, because it's a giant robot that shoots balls. What's not to love?
And what do visitors think of MoMath in general?
If you don't really like math, you can appreciate the amusement from it, and if you like math, you can appreciate both the amusement from it and the math that you can learn from it.
It has things from school, like all the math we learned, like, we got the parabolas, but then at the same time, it's more fun.
So here at MoMath, you can learn a lot of math and have a lot of fun at the same time, especially if your free throw shot is finally what you've been aiming for. I'm Donna Hanover for Science and You.
And we're back, about to turn this book into a beehive. Lynn, how do we do it?
So this is how we do it. So the idea of the book would be that the front part of the book has all the information and all the experiments that kids would need to learn about social and solitary bees and how they look and how they smell and all that stuff. And then the back, as you can see here, is just blank pages. It's just illustrated with soy ink, so it's not toxic. And you take a page out, and then to tear the pages out.
All right, and I see that it's already
perforated.
It's perforated, yeah.
Oh, let's see if I can get a good.
Yeah.
So we tear one out. And then we roll. You can roll it around a pencil or a pen, and then
usually like a ballpoint pen like that, so it's not too thick, right?
And it's like a number 2 pencil.
Right.
So you roll it. You roll it up like that, and then you would tape it, and you make a bunch of these, right? And
so you have a bunch of pages here that will make a bunch.
Right.
Okay.
And depending on the thickness, if it's around a number 2 pencil, the mason bees love this. If you make it around like a chopstick or a knitting needle, little smaller leafcutter bees like that, and they come later in the summertime.
I see.
And so you make,
So we
I like
have
to make a
this.
little variety of
Okay,
like
you make
thicker
a different
thin.
one.
Yeah, but that's not it. The most exciting part is you whip the cover off.
Okay.
And you turn it inside out, like this, and you line up these little brads, and you fold it over. So you have this, and I believe that you have.
And I believe you have.
Pre-made a bunch of
Ta-da!
tubes. So this
Here
is
we
what
go.
it looks like when you make all these into tubes, right?
I
You've got
see.
this, and then you put it inside the cover here, give it a little front porch, and you hang this out in your garden or on the fire escape or on the rooftop or anywhere where you want these bees to come. And because they love these kind of tubes, they look for hollow grasses or hollow spaces that are already made. They'll come and set up shop in here.
They set up shop and they just stay.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
You know, and they pollinate. They're amazing pollinators. One mason bee can pollinate as many flowers as 100 honeybees.
Who knew?
I know.
The stuff that we learn. And don't go away, we'll be back again with another demonstration from Turn This Book into a Beehive. On July 4th, in the year 1054, approximately 1,000 years ago, astronomers in China, Japan, and what is now Iraq watched a supernova explode. This explosion was so massive that it could be seen during the day for 3 weeks and in the night sky for 2 years. Supernova 1054's remnants formed what is now known as the Crab Nebula in the constellation Taurus. You can't think summer without a spoonful of ice cream. Beth Kovetz went to Kingsborough Community College to find out how liquid nitrogen is used to make our favorite summer treat.
What's more fun in the sun than a big scoop of ice cream? Did you know that humans have been eating frozen milk since 5th century BC? And as technology improved, so has the ice cream. And in our century, we're advancing our ice cream making technology now with liquid nitrogen. We've come to the Culinary Arts Department of Kingsborough Community College to talk to Chef Mark D'Alessandro about how it's done.
There's a little bit of theatrics that I have to start with. So we got it out of a big container and now I have to put it in some small containers.
This may be the only time ice cream is made with a little help from the physics department. Kingsborough Community College gets the liquid nitrogen to cool a major piece of scientific equipment. The Culinary Arts Department borrows a little bit of it for some fun summer cooking.
So I have 2 basic things that I'm going to make for you right now. A root beer float, and I'm going to make what the Italians call affogato. So I have the milk mixture in the bowl here. Not much is going on until I add this. So again, 321 degrees below zero. You're not consuming any of the liquid nitrogen because, as you can tell, it boils off. All of this smoke here is nitrogen. It super cools the air and displaces it. So one of the other dangers outside of it touching your skin is that this will push all of the oxygen out of the environment. So what this is doing is it's freezing that liquid sugar that's in the milk mixture far quicker than any machine would do. And what that allows is to have absolutely no sugar crystals in the resultant ice cream.
Is cooking chemistry?
Cooking is absolutely chemistry. I think a chemist may answer that question a little differently than a chef would, but cooking, whether it's baking or whether it's savory food like I specialize in, it's altering molecules no matter how you look at it. So it's 100% chemistry.
Science plays a lot of roles in cooking.
Is science really increasing the drama of cooking?
I think I'm demonstrating that now that it is. I don't have an oven mitt or anything like that that's as big as this. There's really nothing better than a dessert like this in the summer. A shot of espresso,
Just
pouring
amazing.
over ice cream.
Amazing. Ah, look at that. So that was the basic liquid nitrogen ice cream. Now we're going to go on to the advanced stage, and I'm going to get out of the way.
Chefs are a nostalgic lot. We like to reminisce about, this makes me remember my childhood, or it makes me think of what my mom used to make. So I'm going to make a creamsicle push pop.
Chef put liquid orange sherbet inside a push pop, then added vanilla ice cream to the middle, and then dipped it into the 321 below 0 degree Fahrenheit bath of liquid nitrogen. They were amazing, and the liquid nitrogen froze them fast, but Chef wasn't done with us yet.
We're going to plate a dessert. And this is the intriguing thing for me is I'm going to plate a dessert, but I don't have ice cream. I have liquid ice cream. So I'm going to start with that same method to make ice cream. Liquid nitrogen goes into this mixture.
Chef Alessandro's final liquid nitrogen dessert of the day was a salted green tea ice cream with shattered rose petals on a bed of vanilla cookie crumbs with raspberry, pomegranate, and mint.
Every bite is different, but they combine to be something that you really enjoy.
Oh yeah, this has been Lisa Beth Kovetz for Science and You. It's so good.
We close our half hour with an update on all things science. Last month in science, caffeine has previously been associated with lower risk for type 2 diabetes and stroke. But a new study conducted in Germany discovered that caffeine may also be good for your heart. Turns out consuming the equivalent of 4 cups of coffee moves a protein called P27 into the mitochondria of cardiovascular cells. P27's movement into the mitochondria promote endothelial cells, which protect and repair heart muscle cells. Archaeologists at Lund University in Sweden have discovered carbonized malt in the southern region of the country. The germinated grains show that Nordics had been brewing beer as far back as the Iron Age, between approximately 400 CE and 600 CE. We may soon be able to explain why zebras have stripes or why cheetahs have spots. Bioengineers from the University of Illinois, MIT, and Johns Hopkins University recently engineered bacteria that form Turing patterns when incubated and grown. Turing patterns are stripes, spots, or spirals that form chemically out of a uniform state. That's our show for today. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Magalie Laguerre-Wilkinson, and we'll see you next time on Science and You.